Boku no Pico. What is Boku no Pico? Some say it's the best thing you could watch if you want to get into anime, and some will tell you that it's the worst abomination made on the internet since Metamorphosis. But what really is Boku no Pico? Now, if you're an internet savant or you've been tricked into watching it, all it is just Shada. And that's honestly the only answer you need. However, if you're a person like me that can see underlining themes and see beyond the Matrix, not an NPC, a main character, you could see what I saw in Boku no Pico. And you're probably asking yourself, well, hold on a second, doesn't watching that technically make you a pedophile? No. You NPC is what Sneeko would tell me to call you. It makes me able to see beyond the veil. You just look at your refrigerator door handle and say, I can open that with my hand. I look at my refrigerator door handle and say, I can stick that in my ass. But that doesn't mean anything unless you actually find something, right? So, think about it for a sec. Boku no Pico features Pico, Chiku, and Coco. The three main characters that are unveiled one episode after another and meet each other and get all up to crazy hijinks with a lot of ejaculation. Now, you'd probably just sit there and ask yourself, okay, well, with that definition, that just makes you a pedophile, right? Wrong. If there's anything I know I'm not, it's a pedophile. I'm not a sheep, and I'm not a pedophile. And just for one more time, I'll say, I am not a pedophile. So I booted my computer up, went to the bad side of the internet, and set off on my quest to find out what the secret meaning to Boku no Pico really was. And after watching all three episodes again and remembering why I was banned from Steam broadcasting services after I streamed it to about 1,000 people, I went, yeah, never mind. Besides the man that made the YouTube video about screaming about the number 3, I said, you know what? There really isn't anything here. So I closed my mind and said I was just having another schizo meltdown. Me and 2Mad can relate to that. So I went on about my life, but it was like the universe wanted to contact me. Let me know that I saw something there. Saw something that I didn't pick up on at first. As I started going about my daily life, I noticed that 3 of the toilets were broken at work. And then I fell later in the day and dropped some of my snacks, and only 3 pieces of it fell out of the bag. And then, go figure, 3 very buff, oiled up black men showed up on my screen later that night twerking. Now, I'm not going to say coincidences could be anything, but I personally realized what the universe was trying to tell me. I went back and started searching with Boku no Pico. I searched through all the episodes, and I noticed a couple themes. 3 boys. Each character ejaculates at least 3 times in each episode. That they're in, of course. But it just seemed like everything led to the number 3. Now, Boku no Pico was made in Japan by a group of individuals who set off on their quest to fulfill their sick desires. Or did they? After doing a little bit of research on the people who made the show, I found out that Fullmetal Alchemist's author actually had a hand in writing some portions of the show. And then I stopped and went, why would you put your hand in that? If you're about to make, or had made, something as big as Fullmetal Alchemist, you wouldn't want to taint your name on this. You wouldn't want to have Kevin Sorbo and Poolboy Drowning Out of Fury 2, where you're saying a bunch of racial empathies, only to turn around and do a movie about how God isn't dead and you're a believer now. And I said, no, everybody does something for a reason. So I looked in and started thinking about the broader spectrum of why he would put his hand on this. And I started thinking about Fullmetal Alchemist's story. A corrupt government does corrupt things, uses people for corrupting things, and does more corrupt things. Now what if, just by chance, this is what I was starting to piece together the pieces. My corkboard and my red twine was going everywhere, and I was starting to see the pieces that were connecting. Now Pico is a young boy who was mistaken for a girl in the first episode, and some man tried using what he thought was a girl for sex, and once Pico's penis was revealed, decided to keep going with it, but still wanted him to dress as a girl. Now Pico was strong and independent and broke away from this man. Now think about that. Think about that man as an influence, an outside influence, trying to push his ways onto Pico. Just like a certain Japanese government might try doing to an up-and-coming manga artist, author, creator of something that was very telling. What if the Japanese government said, hey, we need you to put something in your manga? something classified that we needed to keep hidden. Now, Pico is a free and caring spirit who just wants to have fun and live his life, just like FMA's author. Now, if the government tried influencing him, what would he do? He'd break away from it and say no. But what if the pressure kept being pushed on, or that memory of the government trying to interfere with something you love kept nagging at you and constantly made you think, never able to forget about it? What would you do? You'd run away, want to find an escape. The pressure of trying to put something important from the Japanese government inside Fullmetal Alchemist was probably wearing on him. He didn't want to give up that innocence that Fullmetal Alchemist had. He wanted to somehow make a compromise. In comes Chico. FMA's artist goes through the woods and finds a young boy, Chico, in the woods, just in the stream, bathing and having fun while nude. Now, you're probably asking yourself, well, what the fuck does this got to do with anything? Think of Chico as Boku no Pico as a whole. Carefree, living its best life, enjoying the fetish that it likes, even though technically it's called pedophilia. EDP would eat it up. But seriously, think about it. Pico as the FMA's author, and then Chico as Boku no Pico as a whole. And what does Pico do? He uses Chico, uses it for his own game. He starts repeating the same situation that was pushed on him by the Japanese government onto Chico. Ain't that odd? So you're probably asking yourself, well, what exactly could he be doing? Well, the same ass that Pico was getting from the Japanese government, Chico is now being shown that it's okay. He's using him as a bait and switch. And you're probably asking yourself, well, that still doesn't make sense. What the fuck is the Japanese government trying to show? What are they trying to make him put in Fullmetal Alchemist that he would rather pawn off on Boku no Pico? That's where it all started to make sense. And that's where I hit a dead end. I was trying to figure out what exactly was so important that he would run to corrupt somebody else. And then I got to the third episode, where Coco made his appearance. Now, Coco is just your average cross-dressing individual who reminds me of my friend named Hunter. Yes, Hunter, you're a cross-dressing individual, and Coco from Boku no Pico is straight up your spirit child. But anyways, enough about him. Coco is a free spirit, in a certain sense. A wanderer. A person who has no master. Is what I thought. And while Pico and Chico are kind of going about their day enjoying an arcade game and having trouble taking off a little pin of his jacket, Coco just walks up and says, "Hey, I'll help you." And as Coco does it, go figure, a friendship is made. Or is it? Now, what if Coco is the representation of the secret between Pico and Chico? Because after that, Coco just joins right along with him without being enticed. In fact, Pico runs upon Coco and goes, "Ah, you are jerking off in the back of this arcade. I enjoy jerking off in the back of arcades too. Let me go get my friend Chico, and we can all jerk off in the back of arcades." Isn't that odd? Isn't it weird that Pico would just be okay with Coco on first sight? And that's where it started to make sense. Coco's not a free spirit. Coco is a promise, a bond, something you can use against your friends. Coco is blackmail. When Pico brings Chico into the back room, they are now all sharing the same secret. The secret of sneaking around and doing improper things with each other. Now you probably ask yourself, what it still doesn't make sense. What exactly is this improper secret that the Japanese government, Pico, is trying to push onto Chico and using Coco as blackmail? What could it be? Well, I started thinking about that as well. And I started thinking about that old video of the guy yelling about there were three. There were three. It seemed like the number was embedded in his head. Now, I'm not trying to go all 2000s movie with Jim Carrey. I'm not trying to go like that. But it started to make sense. China is a very powerful government. Now, Japan is not a part of China. It's its own free entity, but you're right beside China. This giant power, this global titan. What if the Japanese government had made some way to keep themselves safe if all hell broke loose? And right now, with World War III right around the corner, what if Boku no Pico might actually become relevant again? 3. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with passcodes. Well, one thing they say is to never keep your keys next to your passcode. Now, United States, Russia, China, Saudi Arabia, you name it. People have nuclear warheads. They all talk about the launch codes, and they talk about keys to the launch codes and all that. Has anyone ever asked Japan? What if Japan has some form of missile device, EMP, something that is able to change the game when World War III breaks out, and they need it somewhere to hide? Now, I mean this earnestly. What if they need somewhere to hide their codes? Because China's right next door, and China is bigger than North Korea. And if North Korea has the power to somehow shut down a movie event showing the interview with James Franco and Seth Rogen, then you damn well know China can do something like that. So what if Japan had to put themselves on the map? So they hid some type of launch code for something, somehow, inside what they originally wanted to be Full Metal Alchemist, because that would be the perfect place to hide it. You put it right in front of people. Hide it in plain sight. And they said, the Full Metal Alchemist creator went, no, you're not going to touch my child like this. And they said, you better find somewhere to fucking put it, or else your career's over. And then you start thinking, okay, well, what the fuck can I do? What can I do? It was Saturday afternoon, and I came into the office. The whole office was buzzing because they were finally going to get something that put them on the map. I said, what is it? They said, Boku no Pico is about to be released. Would you like to be a part of this? Just like Mr. Burns, that Full Metal Alchemist author was like, I have an idea. I'm going to put these launch codes that they gave me inside Boku no Pico. I'm going to spread them out, and you have to read between the lines. So if we ever need them, we have them. Now you're probably asking yourself, what the fuck that still doesn't make sense. How the fuck would they put launch codes at 3? 3. There's 3 boys. There's 3 ejaculations every episode. Sometimes from all 3 of them. And the first episode is 33. Runtime. 3. I understood why that man is now yelling about there were 3. He might have had some insider info. He just went fucking gone from the internet. It was a flash animation. You know what the best thing about flash animation is? You could kill the creator of them and you'll never fucking see it. He saw what I am finding right now. And I might go missing in the next couple days. But that's all it is. You just hit 3. You hit 3 as many fucking times as you can when you turn that key. And whatever Japan is hiding goes off. Now you probably are saying, you're a fucking retard. This is the stupidest thing you ever thought. Go watch Boku no Pico right now. Don't pay attention to the dicks. Pay attention to the meaning, the thought, the sick, twisted game that the Japanese government is playing with this anime. Seriously, go watch Boku no Pico right now, and you'll understand what I've understood for the last 3 years. I've been pushing this off because I finally got to a place where if I need to go into hiding after the government comes after me, I can fucking go into hiding right now. And I may not be wearing any clothes when I'm recording this, but that does not mean I'm any more or less validated than what I'm fucking saying. Go watch Boku no Pico right now. Go do it. You can find out what Japan is hiding, and we can finally be on level playing field with an evil corporation such as the Japanese government.